Barakatah YAHAWAH, Barakatah YAHAWASHI, Call Halayim La YAHAWAH, bahasham YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH, which means all praises to Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Bahasham means in the name. YAHAWASHI is the name of His only begotten Son, who the world English calls Jesus Christ. YAHAWAH means in the Holy Spirit, Spirit of truth, only way we can worship the Father and the Son. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you brothers who are preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. It's Brother Mathati from the Great Millstone Camp, the branch on Des Moines. And see the title of the lesson is entitled, That's Not Always the Case. And it's inspired, through the Holy Spirit and just meditating on the judgment of the Lord. Because we hear about different judgments that go out throughout the earth as it is written in the book of Zephaniah. Let's grab that. Zephaniah 3 and 5. It says, that's Zechariah. I'm sorry. Zephaniah 3 and 5. It says, the just Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. So these wicked niggas, they don't know no shame, And speaking as a man, the majority of judgment that goes out throughout the earth, man, is to punish the wicked. And we know that it speaks about how the remnant is a small number. So the majority of these people, man, is just evil, wicked doers, man. That's going to receive a just recompense for their actions. But not all judgment that goes forth is some judgment is for our good. Let me put it that way. I want to make sure that I articulate this the best way I can. Certain judgments is for the good, and it's all judgment at the end of the day. It's all judgment. Like it says here, this is the book of Deuteronomy 32 and 4. It says, he is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment, a power of truth, and without iniquity, just and right is he. So it's all judgment at the end of the day, but some judgments go down for our benefit or for our betterment. And Lord's will, I'm gonna get a couple examples of that. The first one I'm gonna get is here in the book of 2 Chronicles 34. And let me get the gist of it. Let me start at 1 so we can get who's it speaking about. This is 2 Chronicles 34 and 1. It says, Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 130 years. So 31 years he reigned as king over Judah, right? Now, when you read verse 2, it says, and he did that which was right in the sight of Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI, and walked in the ways of David his father, and declined neither to the right hand nor to the left. So he was extremely beloved in the eyes of Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. He's written about in Sirach, the 47th chapter or the 48th chapter. It's the book of Sirach, 47. 49. Sirach 49:1. The remembrance of Josiah is like the composition of the perfume that is made by the author of the apothecary. It is sweet as honey in all mouths, and as music at a banquet of wine. He behaved himself uprightly in the conversion of the people, and took away the abominations of iniquity. He directed his heart unto the Lord, and in the time of the ungodly he established the worship of the Most High. You see, all except David, Hezekiah, and Josiah were defective, for they forsook the law of the Most High. Even the kings of Judah failed. So all the other kings, they would often did wickedness, but David, Hezekiah, and Josiah, their heart was right in the sight of Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. So going back and reading about one of those kings, which is our King Josiah, let's scroll down to verse 23. It says, and she answered them, thus saith Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI, power of Israel, tell ye the man that sent you to me. Now the man that sent them, to the woman in the college was King Josiah. Right, which you can read it on your own time for lack of a, as you can see here. And the king commanded Hilkiah and Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, right? Go and inquire of the Lord. So he the one that sent them unto her, right? Verse 24, thus saith Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI, behold, I will bring evil upon this place and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the curses that are written in the book which they have read before the king of Judah, because they have forsaken me and have burned incense unto other gods, that they might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore my wrath shall be poured out upon this place and shall not be quenched. And as for the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Lord, so shall ye say unto him, thus saith Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI, power of Israel, concerning the words which thou hast heard. Because thy heart was tender, and thou didst humble thyself before the Most High, when thou heardest his words against this place and against the inhabitants thereof, and humblest thyself before me, and didst rend thy clothes, and weep before me, I have even heard thee also, saith the Lord. Behold, I will gather thee to thy fathers, and thou shalt be gathered to thy grave in peace. Neither shall thy eyes see all the evil that I will bring upon this place and upon the inhabitants of the same. So they brought the king word again. You see? So the Lord told Josiah that he would be gathered to the fathers, meaning that he would die and he wouldn't see the evil and the judgment that the Lord would bring upon Jerusalem. Right? Now, I believe that account is also written, yep, in 2 Kings 22 and 20. Behold, therefore I will gather thee unto thy fathers, and thou shalt be gathered into thy grave in peace, and thy eyes shall not see all the evil which I will bring upon this place. And they brought the king word again. So the Lord told Josiah, because he humbled himself, because he walked, right in the sight of Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI, that the Lord would take him off the earth before he would bring judgment upon Judah. Now, how did the Lord take him off the earth? Now, when we read further on in 2 Kings 23, now it reads about what he did and how he broke down the groves and he slew those idolatrous priests, right? Let's jump down to verse 29. And in his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates. And King Josiah went against him, and he slew him at Megiddo when he had seen him. And his servants carried him in a chariot dead from Megiddo and brought him to Jerusalem and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him and made him king in his father's stead. You see? So the Lord put the spirit on Josiah to go against Pharaoh Necho. Now, when you read this in the Chronicles, it gives more detail on it. 2 Chronicles 35 and 20. After all this, when Josiah had prepared the temple, Necho, king of Egypt, came up to fight against Carchemish by Euphrates, and Josiah went out against him. But he sent ambassadors to him, saying, what have I to do with thee, thou king of Judah? I come not against thee this day, but against the house wherewith I have war. For the Most High commanded me to make haste. Forbear thee from meddling with the Most High who is with me, that he destroy thee not. Nevertheless, Josiah would not turn his face from him, but disguised himself that he might fight with him, and hearkened not unto the words of Necho from the mouth of the Most High, and came to fight in the valley of Megiddo. And the archers shot at King Josiah, and the king said to his servants, have me away, for I am sore wounded. His servants therefore took him out of that chariot and put him into the second chariot that he had, and they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died and was buried in one of the sepulchres of his fathers, and all Judah and Jerusalem mourned for Josiah. So on face value, it's like, man, he got shot, right? In today's time, the arrow, the archers is a gunman. So that's like, man, he got shot off face value. If somebody didn't know all the works and righteousness that he did in the sight of Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI, they'd be like, man, look, it was judgment of the Lord. Don't get me wrong. But they'd be like, oh, you see, he must have been wicked. Nah. Judgment happens unto the righteous as well as unto the wicked. Now, once again, I believe there's more wickedness that's in the earth, which we can read the precepts and we know that, only a remnant shall return. The majority of these people, it says, what, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. In Genesis, the 6th chapter, in the days of Noah, what? It says men's heart was evil continually, man. So the majority of judgment that goes out, man, it is because these niggas is wicked, but this was something that the Lord had mercy on Josiah so that he wouldn't suffer, in the judgment to come that was to be brought. Now, when we read down back in Kings, verse 34, nope, verse 31, and Jehoahaz, which is what Josiah's son, was 20 and 3 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And his mother name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his fathers had done. And Pharaoh Necho put him in bands at Riblah in the land of Hamath, that he might not reign in Jerusalem, and put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. So this is the beginning of the downfall of Judah. Because not too long after that, what took place? Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, came, and then what? And that's the spirit. The spirit had me mention Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. Now we're gonna move over to another example. Now this is the book of Jeremiah 24:1. It says, YAHAWASHI showed me, and behold, 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of the Lord. After that, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, which is Jeconiah's Josiah's grandson, right? It says, and the princes of Judah with the carpenters and smiths from Jerusalem, and had brought them to Babylon. So once again, on face value, it's like, damn, they has got carried away into captivity. They went into slavery, right? But let's keep reading. 1 basket had very good figs, even like the figs that are first ripe, and the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten, they were so bad. Then said Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi unto me, what seest thou, Jeremiah? And I said, figs, the good figs very good, and the evil very evil, that cannot be eaten, they are so evil, meaning they were rotten, molded over, right? Just like when you see fruit that's been sitting for too long. Verse 4, it says, again, the word of Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi came unto me, saying, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi, power of Israel, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them that are carried away captive of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. So they was carried away captive for their good. Verse 6, for I will set my eyes upon them for good, Salakia, and I will bring them again to this land, and I will build them and not pull them down, and I will plant them and not pluck them up. And I will give them in heart to know me, that I am Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power, for they shall return unto me with their whole heart. And as the evil figs which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely thus saith the Lord, so will I give Zedekiah the king of Judah and his princes and the residue of Jerusalem that remain in his land and that dwell in the land of Egypt. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach and a proverb, a taunt and a curse in all places whither I shall drive them. And I will send the sword, the famine, and the pestilence among them till they be consumed from off the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers. So guess what? Those ones that were carried away captive with the king Jeconiah, they didn't have to suffer the siege of Jerusalem, man. And you could read about that in the book of Lamentations. How the women had to assign their children. The women were ravished, the men were hanged. The different, things that's written in the book of Lamentations, man. That was a gruesome, punishment that was brought upon Jake during that time. And guess what? Those that were carried away captive first, they didn't have to partake in that, man. You see? Now, another example I got. This is 1 Kings 14. And 7, it says, go tell Jeroboam, thus saith Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi, power of Israel, for as much as I exalted thee from among the people and made thee prince over my people Israel, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David and gave it thee, And yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments, and who followed me with all his heart to do that only which was right in my eyes, but hast done evil above all that were before thee. For thou hast gone and made thee other gods and molten images to provoke me to anger, and hast cast me behind thy back. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung, till it be all gone. Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat, for YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI has spoken it. Arise thou therefore, get thee to thy own house, and when thy feet enter into the city, the child shall die. What child is this? It's talking about Jeroboam's son. It says, and all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him, for he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave, because in him there is found some good thing toward YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI, power of Israel, in the house of Jeroboam, man. So the Lord, had killed, right? Because it says the Lord killeth and maketh alive, according to 1 Samuel. The Lord killed the child for its good, so it didn't have to suffer the things that was finna be brought upon the house of Jeroboam. That's why it tells us in the book of Isaiah, (57:1), it says, the righteous perisheth, and no man lay it to heart, and merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. And it didn't speak about how those righteous men are taken away. Look how Josiah was taken away. Look how Jeroboam's son was taken away. Look at how Jeconiah and those men were led into captivity. You see? So these are all, examples of the judgment of the Lord. And on face value, it's easy for, to place judgment and be like, oh, they this and that. Like what Job's 3 friends did, man. See, the things that they were saying was right. Those things that they were talking about, the wicked men and what they going to receive, that was right, man. It says, whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. But why was the Lord angry with those men for the things that they were saying, if those things that they were saying were right? Because it didn't apply to Job. They were trying to apply those things to Job, which it didn't apply. And the Lord came and said, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without understanding? Roughly paraphrasing. So even us, we have to be mindful of our judgment, the things we speak on. It tells us here in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, just tying it in with what we just read in Isaiah 57. It's Wisdom of Solomon 3:1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery, right? Because different ways that the righteous men were put to death, man. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. Just tying that in with that Isaiah 57 that we read, and how those righteous men, they didn't have to, partake in the evil and the atrocities that was to take place. Going into that Jeremiah that we read, going into the Kings and Chronicles that we read concerning Josiah and concerning Jeconiah, and those men that were led captive by Nebuchadnezzar, And that's why the scriptures tell us in the book of Romans, this is Romans 11:33. It says, oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High, how unsearchable are his judgments and his ways past finding out, man. You see? So the Lord is far out, man. That's why in Isaiah 55, let's grab that. That's why the Lord told us this. This is the book of Isaiah 55. In 8, it says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Man, that still applies, even though we in the faith, man. You know, that still applies, man. Even going back to how unsearchable are his judgments. Psalms 36:6, thy righteousness is like the great mountains. Thy judgments are a great deep. O YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, thou preservest man and beast. It says thy judgments are a great deep. It speaks about how the great deep can't be searched out, man. This is the book of Sirach 24. And verse 28, the first man knew her not perfectly, no more shall the last find her out. Because that's why, because it speaks about Sirach 17:30, for all things cannot be in men, because the Son of Man is not immortal, man. So we ain't got it yet, man. You know? So it says the first man knew her not perfectly, which is talking about the wisdom of the Lord. No more shall the last find her out, for her thoughts are more than the sea, and her counsels profounder than the great deep, man. Hey, that's why it tells us here. Matter of fact, the second Esdras 5. And I started 36. And he said unto me, number me the things that are not yet come. Gather me together the dross that are scattered abroad. I don't think it says dross. Hold on. That don't sound familiar to me. Salakia, let me my book right here. Second Esdras 5, where do we read? 36. Gather me together the drops that are scattered abroad. Right. It's talking about the raindrops. Yeah. Salakia. That did not sound right to me, man. As we can see here. He said unto me, number me the things that are not yet come. Gather me together the drops that are scattered abroad. Make me the flowers green again that are withered. Right. You see? So now let's go back. That's why these apps, man. You know, verse 37, open me the places that are closed and bring me forth the winds that in them are shut up. Show me the image of a voice, and then I will declare to thee the thing that thou laborest to know. And I said, O Lord, that bearest rule, who may know these things, but he that hath not his dwelling with men? As for me, I am unwise. How may I then speak of these things whereof thou askest me? Then said he unto me, like as thou canst do none of these things that I have spoken of, even so canst thou not find out my judgment, or in the end the love that I have promised unto my people, man. Whew. You know? So just showing you, bro. Hey, the Lord do things we can't comprehend, man. What it says, let's see. There's another one. Because the Spirit had me say comprehend. There's one that says, yep, Job 37:5. The Most High thundereth marvelously with his voice. Great things doeth he, which we cannot comprehend. You know? Say, so the Lord is far out, man. You know? He's far above, you know, our reasoning and, you know, and how we think and, you know, and I just wanted to speak on that. You know, it was something that was in my spirit that I was meditating on all day, you know, and I wanted to make sure that I articulated it properly. I wanted to make sure, you know, I meditate on it, whether I should do the lesson, you know, whether it was edifying in order to do it. And, you know, it'd be a lot of things that go on in my mind, man. You know, if only, you know, If only, you could see that. But anyway, yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. Just something for us to consider. A lot of judgment goes out every day, man. Like we just read, at the beginning of the lesson in the book of Zephaniah, and some judgments, happen, for the good, for the good, So Lord's will, I hope, I was able to articulate myself properly, man, and I hope this made sense. I hope it was edifying, So Lord willing, I could come again with another lesson. YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, for giving me the spirit to do this one. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, barakah, kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you brothers preaching the gospel in truth and in sincerity, always in charity. Hey, shalom.